As the piston begins its slow upward movement, notice the gleaming surfaces of the gold and red parts integrated into the assembly.
Check it out, we got a whole box of red metallic parts ready for the next build. Let's see what we got here.
So here we have the fully assembled bottom end of the scooter engine. As you can see, the crank is perfectly centered, ready for the cylinder.
So here's the assembled gearbox. We've got all the pretty bits installed, including this shiny new red Taronda gear cover right here. All right guys, check this out. This is the new high torque starter we just put on the scooter block. Look how clean that is. So for the update on the scooter frame, we finally got the reinforcement plates welded right here. This thing is solid now, ready for the new build.
As you can see, the new frame design utilizes this reinforced joint here, significantly improving the overall rigidity of the scooter. The engine mount bushings are critical for stability. Moving back, you can see the detail on the new silver foot pegs.
This right here is the Stage 6 needle bearing headset. You can see the quality construction. We're pointing it out because it's essential for smooth steering. We tap the crown nut gently and you can hear the slack. This spacing problem right here is what causes the steering wobble.
This crown nut is the culprit. The clearance here is minimal, making adjustment nearly impossible without the specialized tool.
All right guys, the crown nut issue is handled. We'll tackle the install later. First things first, let's get this engine build wrapped up.
We're really excited about this Malossi variator. We've got the full set of red and black performance parts here too.
All right, My Boys crew, check it out. You won't believe the colorway we got for the new scooter. It's a massive surprise. You ready for this?
We just picked up the wheels and shocks that we dropped off in the last video. I've got all the mounting hardware right here in the bag, so let's get to it.
Check this out, guys. Look at that finish. The new gold Mott Boys scooter deck just arrived.
So this is the silver carburetor we ordered. It looks amazing. And here is the matching intake. We're gonna install these today on the project car. We are assembling and sealing up the engine today. After that, we're gonna perform an air leak down test.
All right, so the engine build is wrapped up. Now we move over here to the frame, get this thing ready for paint and final assembly.
All right guys, so we're looking at the new piston here. We got to make sure it seats perfectly in the cylinder head before we move on. Okay, make sure you have the Pro Street cylinder kit instructions handy. We're going to follow this diagram exactly to get the best performance. Check this out, guys. The new gold and white Mott Boys Edition cylinder head is finally done. Isn't she beautiful?
Here we have the assembled cylinder head. We're particularly proud of the finish, combining the polished gold top with the durable matte white coating.
PM Tuning recommends a squish of 0.9 to 1.1, and that's exactly what we managed to achieve on the Blue Zuma build here.
Check out this incredible lineup we've got here. We've got every color you can imagine ready to hit the streets.
Okay, Mott Boys, we're ready to start the assembly of the top end. We're gonna focus on getting this cylinder and piston seated correctly. We lay the solder across the piston crown. We'll rotate the engine over to compress it and get our measurement.
All right, so before we start the install, make sure you've got your Pro Street fitting instructions handy. We're gonna wanna look specifically at this diagram here for the piston orientation. Look at this, guys, right here in the manual. Genuine 25.5 horsepower to the rear wheel. That is absolutely insane for this kit.
Pay close attention to this diagram. The piston ring gap must be checked before installation. Now, moving on to the cylinder head torque sequence on the next page.
With this setup, we're looking at a reliable 20% increase in power. The goal is smooth delivery right through the mid-range.
The squish band is absolutely critical for this runner engine build. We are aiming for a very precise measurement, ideally right around 0.8 millimeters.
As you can see here, we have the 3 different thicknesses, the 0.4, 0.5, and 0.6 millimeter gaskets. You need the right one for a proper seal. We have 3 thicknesses available, the 0.4, the 0.5, and the thickest one here, the 0.6.
It's great that these are labeled so clearly, 0.4, 0.5, and 0.6. Much better than the typical thin, bent aluminum gaskets.
These pinholes are essential for the lubrication of the wrist pin, reducing friction during operation.
These holes right here are specifically designed for lubricating the wrist pin. It's a really thoughtful design feature on these parts.
These large holes here are where the wrist pin connects, linking the crank to the piston assembly.
Now carefully spread the assembly lube evenly across the entire surface of the wrist pin, like this. We apply the assembly lube generously to the wrist pin before sliding it into the piston. This ensures proper lubrication on the first start. We use the wrench to carefully bring the piston up against the solder for the squish measurement. We're rotating the crankshaft very slowly now to locate the exact top dead center for our squish measurement. As you can see stamped right here, this is the 0.6 thick gasket we need for the installation.
Now we carefully lift the cylinder head off. You can see the old gasket there. Next, we remove the cylinder barrel, revealing the piston.
The T marking indicates the correct direction for installation, facing towards the top of the piston. Is the Del Orto carburetor. Notice the precise machining on the fuel ports and the throttle linkage here on the side. Mop Boys checking in. The leak down test is complete, and as you can see, we are holding solid pressure. This engine is officially ready for the build. The previous block-off plate was a millimeter or two too short, causing a slight air seep.
We've temporarily blocked the exhaust port here with this rubber plug to maintain pressure during the test. We use this rubber stopper to temporarily block the exhaust port for the leak test, ensuring a tight seal.
All right guys, the air leak test is complete and I'm happy to report we have 0 leaks. This engine is officially sealed up and ready to go.
All right, the air leak test passed successfully. Next up, we're installing the CVT and the ignition. Then this engine is complete.
I wanted to pull this off and address the spacing issue right here, but unfortunately, we're not gonna have time in this video. We're seeing a lot of play right here at the crown nut. It needs to be torqued properly or it will cause steering failure. We're taking the crown nuts to a lathe to cut them down. The goal is to run 2 nuts at the height of 1 to fix the spacing issue. So we're wrapping up the motor assembly, get it cleaned up, and then installing the carburetor. All right guys, welcome back to the Mop Boys Garage. I know you've been waiting for this. It is finally time to show you the new runner wheels we've got lined up.
This is just a little sneak peek of the color scheme. I'm honestly not 100% set on the color yet.
These wheels are insanely tough. What do you guys think? Drop your suggestions for the color scheme on the panels. Go down to the comments and give me some color suggestions for the runners panels.
Check out these vibrant blue panels we're thinking of using. I think this color scheme is exactly what we need for the Mop Boy scooter.
We want this scooter to absolutely pop. We're talking bizarre, like how the Europeans customize their supermotos. I really want this scooter to pop and look bizarre, similar to how Europeans customize their supermotos. So getting these wheels and forks polished was not an easy task at all. We had to send them out to a local specialist to get this mirror finish. So we had these scooter wheels and forks polished. It wasn't an easy task. We actually had to send them to a local specialist to get this finish. The total cost to get these wheels and the forks polished, sitting right here, was honestly $550.